All right. Welcome, everybody, to the webinar today, 7 Steps to Create Wealth Serving a Higher Cause. We are super excited to have you aboard. If you can hear us, go ahead and type in the chat box to the right-hand side there, I think it is, and just put in and say, hey, I got it, I can hear you, you're good. And those of you who are present, just type in the chat box so we can make sure we're all good technically. Awesome. Thank you for doing that. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Awesome. So those of you who are here live, can you see the PowerPoint that we have up for you? If you see it, just put in the chat box, I got it, I can see it. And we'll get started.
Super excited to have everyone here today. It's going to be really fun. I'm really excited for this. And while we're getting started, just to make sure everyone's enrolled technically, I would just love for each of you to put in the chat box something today. So whether it's, a small thing that you got up this morning or like a big thing, whatever it is, just put something you love about today, something you're grateful for right now. And again, we're just checking in, making sure that you guys are here with us. Go ahead and put those in the chat box right now.
Awesome. And those of you listening to the recording, you can go ahead and write down just what you're thankful for, and we're going to dive right in. All right. So welcome to the 7 Steps to Create Wealth While Serving a Higher Cause. My name is Tyler Watson, and my wife is with me, and this is Emily, and she's actually going to do some of the webinar with me today, so I'm really excited. You get a dual coaching today, so you woohoo, right? we do relationship courses online, and it's super fun. So I'm super excited to get to know everybody here. We always like to have participating people on board. That way you get involved, you get enrolled in your life, and you're able to find what you need to be able to create wealth while serving a higher cause. So even if you're listening to the recording, we invite you to write down the assignments, go ahead and follow the exercises that we're going to ask you. That way you can get plugged in. And if you can't hear us, just refresh your browser there. I think there's like a refresh button down on the bottom, and that way you can get plugged in. Cool. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and move right along. So here we go. This is what we're going to teach you today in this class, what you can expect. Number 1, I want to help you as a messenger, a networker, a healer, a trainer, someone wanting to build wealth for a higher cause. I want you first to figure out what is the message that you're sharing. And knowing your message is super powerful, because the biggest thing that stops people from getting success is confusion, is unclarity on what it is that they're offering. And they'll jump from networking thing to networking thing and trying, but nothing ever works because they don't know what their message is. So we want to help you figure out your message. Number 2, I want to help you rid yourself of false expectations. False expectations that are put on by other people around you. So whether they're your mentors, your trainers, people who are your examples, sometimes we take on these expectations and we forget why we're doing things. We forget so many things because we're not tuned in. And today I want to help you tune in to your message. All right. This third thing is I want to help you clearly communicate while knowing your message, because you can know your message, but it's one thing to know it and it's another to actually communicate it clearly. So I want to actually teach you today how you can communicate your message effectively. The reason why this is so important is because I know so many people who have good messages, but when they communicate it, it's an immediate turnoff. You guys know who I'm talking about, right? You're like, get a phone call or a text and it's so inauthentic, and it's like, hey, check out this thing. It's a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And you're like, what the heck? And it doesn't resonate with you because it's not communicated clearly and it's superficial. So I want you guys to tune into your higher purpose here as we teach you how to clearly communicate this message to your clients and the people who you're wanting to enroll. The fourth thing is how to help other people see value in what you're sharing. And then confidently and happily enroll high-paying clients. Awesome.
Great. So we're super excited for that. And again, thank you all of you for being there. Our assistants working with some of you who are still getting on. And hopefully you're able to. I'm just really excited about this because this is something that changed our life dramatically. It's something that we have really benefited from, and we're excited to share with all of you as well. So just one thing, I would invite you to stick around till the end, especially because we're going to share with you some ways that you can connect with us one-on-one, and you can get some coaching with us and just get some extra bonuses. So we're excited for you to be part of that. Again, those of you who are here with us live, go ahead and check in and put in the chat box. And if you have any technical questions, our assistant will help you with that. But the rest of you, just share with us again what you're grateful for, so we know you're connected with us. Go ahead. Cool. Awesome. So as we jump into this, I just want to share with you some stories of people that we'll share our story in just a minute, but some people that we've worked with that have had some really awesome success. And we love these stories. I love these stories because it's exciting to me. It makes me come alive to see people really living their passion and their dream and being successful with it, which is fun. So this is Heather, and go ahead. You know
Yeah,
Heather
sure.
best.
So Heather I met in Branson, and she is super amazing. She has a passion about helping people in the community and plugging in leaders to the community and helping them grow their business. And so I got to talk with Heather, and she's a good friend of mine. And she went through one of our programs, and as she was going through these programs, she was able to double her monthly sales within weeks, and took it from making an average of 15,000 in sales to 36,000 in sales, which was huge. But the coolest thing about what she said is that over the course of going and working through us and learning these principles that we're going to share with you on this webinar, is that she said her relationship with her husband had been the best it's ever been since the beginning of their marriage, which was so cool to me because we love helping people make money, but the other thing is we love helping people have fantastic, long-lasting relationships. So Heather had some super fun successes, but some of you have no idea who the heck we are, so we're going to tell you a little bit about ourselves here in a second. But before we do, we're just going to cover a couple of cool stories of some successful people that we've had contact with here recently. So Pedro, some of you know him, some of you have never heard of him. His passion is teaching people about being the hero, the superhero within. He had, from birth, had some trauma on his leg, and he'd always had trouble walking. And he always had a lot of doubt and fear about his self-worth and who he was and if he could really impact people. And he was trying to mentor people. You know, he wanted to teach people and help them and counsel them, but he was not charging very much. So he wasn't able to provide for his family. He was doing it part-time, and it wasn't working out so well. As soon as he started applying these principles that we're going to teach you, he went from never making a big sell in his life, over like $60 to selling $12,000 in 1 week. And then consistently enrolling clients at $2,000 into his own coaching package where he teaches people to be the superhero within.
And we love him. And again, this is just some of the cool things. And as you're doing this, I hope you guys are paying attention to what your dreams are, what your goals are. Because I guess, you know, I'm assuming that's why you're in this webinar, is because you have a dream, you have a passion, you have a story. And we want to share some stories so that you can see that it's possible for all of us to do that, you know? Naomi is super fun. She's super, you know, sparkly, bubbly, fun personality. And when we met Naomi, she was really struggling. She was struggling so bad that she could barely even pay for food for her kids. And she attended one of our 3-day events called the Enrollment Immersion Experience, which is a super, super awesome event. People come out with amazing, you know, results and amazing perspective changes. And she went from filing for food stamps one Saturday to creating $23,000 next week. Again, a round of applause for Naomi. Like, I'm so excited for her. After learning to package and value her story. And she went to $43,000 in sales within a month. She's living her passion of helping others brand their businesses. And she's a single mother, now able to take her kids to Legoland for the first time. So that's some of the things that we're excited about. We'll share about ourselves, but we want to share the stories because I think we all have a story. Everyone has a story. And as we live our stories and live the passion inside of us, amazing things can happen. And we're going to share more about that today. So
yeah. So the big question is, are you next? Everyone on here is wanting to take their success to the next level. Some of you have already obtained success, and I think everyone has a certain level of success. And now I just invite you to decide that whatever happens, that you decide to go next. You be that story that is able to transform other people's lives with your mission, your message, serving a higher cause. And I'm just really grateful to be able to share this stuff with you because I've invested over $110,000 over the past 1.5 years to learn how to do these things. And it's been one of the biggest blessings in my life. So the big question is, are you next? I hope you decide that yes, you are next to be able to create the wealth, to be able to create the passion, the success, the happiness, and the joy. Okay, cool. So some of you are wondering, like, who are you, Tyler? Who is this guy? Some of you have been following us for a while. Some of you are just now getting plugged in. So I want to give you a brief overview of who I am. That's me with a giant among men, Tony Robbins, for those of you who don't know. And that's me traveling California. There's me with Ted McGrath from Ted McGrath Brands with Message to Millions, going to Disneyland, and there is my beautiful wife who's with me and our baby girl, Isabella. And these are just some of my passions. I love teaching people and building relationships and helping people tune into what's most important to them. And I look like I'm 12 years old. So some of you, let me see if I can switch this real fast to show you. So as I'm speaking, it's always super fun to get to meet people for the first time because they're like, man, you look like you're 14 or 16 years old. I'm like, I know, right? And it goes to show that no matter how you look on the outside, that everyone has a message. You have a message on the inside. And if you commit to your message and you commit to your passion and your purpose, as you go share that purpose for a higher cause, you will be able to make the impact that you desire.
Yeah, so I'm Emily. We're married.
I'm Tyler.
We're the owners of the Freedom Catalyst. The Freedom Catalyst is a company that's dedicated to help you find freedom in your life in every area. And our story is really cool. We went from super, super struggling, like really struggling, to, you know, creating a 6-figure business in 7 months, as we're talking about, and then sharing it with other people. Like those stories, every single one of those people is our clients, and we have dozens of other clients who are having awesome success. And we love, you know, we get texts all the time. Hey, I sold another thing. I'm enrolling. I'm creating my dream. It's so cool. Fun, you know. And it's really awesome. So
yeah. So the reason we share that is because I know everyone has a powerful story, and one of mine, like Emily said, was we were completely broke. When I first got married, I literally had hardly any money. We were making less than $1,000 a month. And we lived in a little apartment in Branson, Missouri, where all the thing that we could think about is the next bill to be paid. And the worry and the frustration and wondering, am I going to have enough money? Am I going to have enough money? And I realized that I was living as a victim to money, that I wasn't serving a higher cause. I was a slave to money, even though I didn't have any. So I know you know people who are like this, right? You've had friends or relatives who might be struggling with their finances, who have tried and invested lots of things, but it hasn't actually clicked and worked. And it can be very frustrating. But I want to teach you today how you can turn that frustration and turn it into power. Because everything is energy. Everything. According to Einstein and Newton, Newton's laws, energy cannot be created nor destroyed, only transferred. And that energy of being broke, opening up the wallet and being like, oh my gosh, I don't have anything, and the bills coming in and not living in a very nice place, it's like, that is an energy. And I want to share with you these principles so that you can take whatever energy you have, whether you're already successful or you want to be even more successful, and change it to have the more greater and powerful impact. So let me see if I can bring this up again. Now is a little different. We are now living in a beautiful home that we love, and we're able to bring people into our home, teach them and share with them some powerful principles. We do events in our home and using our home to bless people for a higher cause. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Here's a picture that I just took today.
I was like totally not ready for that picture. Anyway.
So my wife didn't know this was on here.
I didn't know this was on here. Okay.
But this is one of our passions, is music. And there's our little girl. This is actually taken today, and my wife's a concert pianist. And one of my dreams was to get my wife a grand piano. And applying these principles that we're going to teach you today, it took me not 5 years, but in 1 year, I was able to get the dream of my life, which was to get a beautiful grand piano for my beautiful wife. So I want to ask you guys, what is your dream? What is it that you're driving for? What is the cause that you are seeking after? And go ahead and put that in the chat box. What is it that you're striving for? What do you desire? What is it that you're working towards? And write that down. Those of you listening to the recording, take out a piece of paper, write this down. This is key to changing your mindset to help you get what you want.
Yeah, and that was a really awesome, emotional, and incredible experience for me when he got me this piano. And it was so nice. I'll forgive him for putting this picture on here. But really, it's been amazing to live our dreams, and I'm really excited to help you, those of you that are here with us, be able to have some of the experiences that I never thought I would have. Growing up, I would play the piano, but my parents could never afford a grand piano. And I never thought that I would have one. And then within a year after, starting our business, he was able to afford that. And then our house, and then all the incredible things, all the trips we've taken. It's really amazing. And it's really cool. Thanks, Lynn.
Awesome. So before we dive in, because we are going to dive in, we're going to get to the stuff. So I know you guys are like, okay, enough stories. I have to share this last thing, okay? Because this is really critical. As you're thinking about what it is that you want to work on and the vision that you want to create, there's always something that is limiting us in our life. When I started out as a mentor, I grew up, so a little bit about my backstory. When I was 12 years old, my dad, he came to me and I'm sitting on the couch, it's summer day, and he comes down to me and he says, "Hey, Tyler, your mom and I are getting a divorce." And in that moment, I had all these preconceptions about families and how they're supposed to be together forever and all the joy that can be found within a family. And here he says, "No, we're getting a divorce." And I took on all the blame and the shame and guilt of that phrase as a 12-year-old kid. And so I went out to go prove myself, and I went out to go do my best, and I got straight A's and all these things. And yet I had this void inside of me, wondering, who am I? Why am I here? What's my purpose? Like, why am I even on this planet? And I remember people always thought I was the happiest kid, and I'd come home from school super happy, but then I'd sit on my bed and I'd cry myself to sleep at night. And I'd wonder, if I ended my life, if I took it right now, would anyone even know that I was gone? And I turned to addictions of pornography and things that ate up my life that I knew destroyed and separated couples, yet in my heart I was looking for approval. I share this because using the principles that we're about to teach you, you can take addictions or pain or frustration and turn it into a beautiful relationship, into success, into happiness, into joy, into excitement, into so many cool things. And so, again, those of you who are live, go ahead and write in the chat box what it is that you want, what it is that you're looking for, the dream that you're seeking after. And as you write down those dreams, once it's put down, it is actually becomes a goal instead of just a dream and a wish. So go ahead and write those down, because I'm excited to see what you guys are desiring to create in this life.
And what you're looking for out of this experience here today. You know, my story, I'm getting into that right now, but I've been through stuff too, where growing up, I felt like I had no value. I never thought I would get married. Like, I thought I would be alone for my whole life. And some of the principles we're going to share with you today have been really phenomenal for me as well. So,
awesome. Well, let's dive in. All right. So a little bit more. These are just some pictures of things that people I've helped and been on Jim Baker show, worked with the Duttons and the Hughes, and my wife's really helped there, and show people who are world famous all in Branson, Missouri. And, we've helped so many people create thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yeah. And more than that, though, it's tuning into their higher cause, turning into their why, and being able to achieve it.
Mm-hmm. So some things are coming in. People are saying, I want to make it so my wife doesn't have to work and I can focus on school full time. Miralee says, a happy, thriving, financially free life for me and my family. Awesome.
Beautiful.
Very cool.
Thanks for sharing.
Thanks for sharing. All right. So let's talk about the 7 steps, because this is the 7 steps to live, create wealth while serving a higher cause. First, we just want to talk about understanding your why. Like, why are you even wanting to do this? And I know some of you are putting it in there. There's another one. I want financial freedom and time freedom to be able to take care of others. Say this again. Okay, to be able to help others after having taken care of my family. That's a great goal. Yeah. Yep. And that's something that drives me as well. Thank you, Craig.
So understanding your why, and we're going to go through some series of, I'm just going to go over all 7 steps, and then we're going to dive into a few of them in depth so that you guys can get the best out of this webinar. We're taking about 24 hours of material and packing it into an hour and a half.
So we're going to do our best.
We're going to nail it for y'all. So the second thing is setting aside other people's expectations. Being clear and precise about your message, who it serves, effectively packaging and communicating your message, organize and strategically present this message, and then get out of your way. Giving and receiving through the enrollment conversations. So in this webinar, and if you do all 7 of these things, you will be able to create a 6- and 7-figure business, serving others, living your passion, and being able to have a fulfilled life. We have time to cover the first 3 in this webinar. So I want you to because I'd rather you get 1 or 2 solid than just get an overview of all 7. And then later down the road, we can cover the rest. Sound good?
Awesome. Cool. I love some of the things that are coming in. Here's another one. I want financial freedom and to be able to create my school.
Beautiful.
That's awesome. Great. Thank you, Sarah. All right. So step number 1, find your why. look at why. Well, you can introduce this part, and I'll give my 2 cents after that.
Awesome. So finding your why, everybody gets tripped up on this. They're like, I don't know my why. I don't know my purpose. Yada, yada, yada. Look, your purpose and your why changes and evolves with you. You're always changing and evolving, so everything inside of you is always going to change. Now, you can come to an overall why. However, there's reasoning behind your message and behind what you're doing that if you can understand and then embrace, you'll be able to take it to the next level. It never just stays the same. It's always evolving. Sometimes I think we get caught up in thinking that it has to be perfect, right? Or it has to be like, I have to know my why. Today, I want you to find your why in an imperfect way so that you can go live your mission. And some of you are like, Tyler, I don't even know what my mission is. Some of you are like, I've got my mission. I just haven't lived it fully. So wherever you're at, I want you to tune into this and figure out your deeper why. Why are you doing what you're doing?
Cool. So I think it goes in levels, and I'm going to share a story in just a minute about this. But you've heard of, the hierarchy of needs, or maybe stuff like that. Maybe you haven't heard of it, but basically everyone, when we start out, at least at a certain level, our why is because, like, I need to feed and clothe my family, right? I need to have enough to live on. I need to take care of my family and take care of my life and stuff like that.
Pay the bills,
right?
So you have enough for food.
I mean, for us, that was definitely where we started. Was like, oh, we got to make enough to like live on, kind of a thing. And that's a deep motivation for people, and that can actually motivate you to do some things that you wouldn't do otherwise. When we got started in the mentoring and coaching space, that was the motivation, and it drove us to actually get some results.
And that is a good why.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I talk to people and they downplay themselves and say, I just want to pay the bills. And it's like, own that thing. Like, I am working this, I am sharing my message, I am impacting people so I can provide for my family and pay the bills. Booyah. Like, that is super cool. And there should be no shame, no guilt, no frustration around that whatsoever.
Yeah. Definitely. And it can motivate you to get yourself into gear to live your passion, live your dream, because you leave some of that safety of like maybe a 9-to-5 job to actually step in and be like, no, I'm going to live my dream. I'm going to create wealth serving a higher cause. And it still can be that motivating factor that drives you to do things. So,
yeah. Oh, by the way, as we're covering these, I want you to be thinking, where are you at right now with your why? Because I know you have a grander why, and we invent these bigger whys to feel better about the real why. But I want you to tune into the real why. Because if you can embrace the real why and get rid of the expectations around others, you will start to live more authentically. I hope this is making sense, because once it clicks, you will get it. And your success will double and triple. So safety is one of the first whys.
So once you have that safety, you're like, I've got the bills paid and stuff like that. Some of you, your why is because you really want to connect. You want to have relationships that are working and functional and fulfilling, and you want to connect with other people, and you want to build those bridges with other people and stuff like that. And that's a very deep and why as well. And some of you, that's your operating space, and that's where you come from. And if you can tap into that, like, amazing things happen, And as human beings, we generally through our life, we go towards one or more of these whys more often, but they are kind of in a hierarchy. So once you do have safety, then you want to connect with other people. You want to feel fulfilled in connections with other people.
Yeah. The third layer is respect. And this one's really powerful. This is more of the money driven. This is looking for, you want to be out there. You want to be the best of the best. You want to be known and well known. And this can be a huge drive. Many successful business owners and entrepreneurs, their main drive is respect. And I started off, of course, with the safety. Had that, showed you the empty wallet and the vacant apartment rooms, right? And as I started to improve and master my communication and help people enroll in their lives, I started to think more about other people and wanting to connect with others and work with others and serve them. And then I started to get in this phase where it's like, oh, this is cool. I want to actually create X amount of money. And it felt more of a empowerment thing of like, I did this. Like, I feel respected because I achieved this goal. And that can be a very powerful motivator in a why, is for a specific amount of money, to feel like you're doing something in the community, like a respect
making
in
a
the community.
difference. Yeah.
Yeah, a very powerful thing to drive you.
Cool. And then of course there's a cause, which is like your higher purpose, your reason for being on this planet. And I think, all of us, that's why we're here, and that's why we're having these conversations, because we're like, oh, but I'm driven by this thing. I want to make a difference in the world. But it's hard to make that difference in the world when you're struggling to, pay the bills and stuff like that. And so that's kind of like the peak point of like, I have the safety, I have the connection, I have the respect. Now I just really want to make a difference. And that's where the biggest differences are made.
Yeah. So we share all these 4 reasons because of a few different things. Many people say that their why is a cause. They say, I'm doing this because of this. But then as you ask questions, you realize that they're really doing it for safety or for connection. Now, for example, I talked to a mentor a while back, and he was talking, yeah, I want to like make this global impact. I want to do these things. And then I was like, well, how is it going? Well, I barely have my needs met. I'm struggling. I just am like striving to pay the bills. And so in my head, I knew he needed to tap into and own the safety section. And how do you do that is, instead of trying to just jump and say, I'm living for this higher cause, to own it inside and say, no, I am actually living and doing this for this reason. And it's okay. It's actually a good thing. Because if you try to push something down, push it aside, and not address it, you will live with guilt and shame. And as you're communicating with people, people feel it. You can tell when someone's inauthentic, can't you? It just comes up, and it's like a sixth sense, and we get it. And so owning this, or if you're in the connection area, I just really want to connect with people. I want to have some friends. I want to relate. I feel like I have everything met, but I just want to feel like I belong. And to know that's why you're doing something in that moment can help you achieve that next step, and then go to the next step and the next step and the next step.
Yeah, this was a big one for me. I just want to share a quick story about this. When I was in college, I had a mentor come and talk to us about like, what's your why? Like, why do you want to create money? Why do you want to create wealth and stuff like that? And I was in a position, like I was paying my bills. I had a lot of friends, I felt like I was pretty good in that stuff, but he talked about like, when you find your why, you find that like passion inside of you, and then nothing can stop you. And you can't be stopped. And I was like, what's my why? Kind of a thing. And I like went through this whole process, and my why was because I wanted to achieve this education that was like phenomenal, because I wanted to make a difference, and I was driven by that cause, and it literally like burned inside of me for months. And I was able to do things that I wouldn't otherwise do. I completely shifted my whole mindset about money, completely shifted my whole relationship with money, because my why was so powerful for me, and it caused me to do things that were like I said, that I wouldn't have otherwise done. Because I knew my why, I was like, nothing can stop me, nothing can keep me from doing this. And that's the power of knowing, like, really, why are you doing this? We mentioned the piano that Tyler got me. That became a cause
that was
motivating him.
Yeah.
Once we had our bills paid, right? That became a cause that like drove him to be like, no, I'm going to do this for this. So I want to just ask you.
Well, before she mentions it, because honestly, I didn't feel like, I would say that I had a higher cause, but deep down inside, it was like, it was dull. It didn't really feel like it was. I felt like it was because somebody wanted me to do it, which is the next thing that we'll dive into. And so I thought, well, what really makes me happy inside? Like, what would make me fulfilled? And I was like, I want to get my wife a grand piano. And that was what drove me. And so you all have specific whys. And it doesn't have to be based on like, hey, I want to go save the world and I want to go make this global impact and this huge cause. That's great. But if you aren't there, then don't just fake it. Allow yourself to connect to a true why inside of you that if you hit, you would recognize and say, oh my goodness, like this was a game changer.
And just the stories of people that we've worked with, you know, we shared just a few of them in the beginning. I watch people that get to a point where they're like, okay, I'm not doing it for all these other people. I'm not doing it for all these other things, you know, Naomi and Pedro and Heather, they got to a point where it's like, no, really, why am I doing this? Like, what is the thing that makes me want to do it? And it's not just because that's what I'm supposed to do, or everyone else around me thinks that I should do it, or all those other things, right? It was because of like, no, I have this cause that's inside of me that's driving me. And when you get to that shift, all of a sudden, like, it becomes natural to be able to create the wealth. And yes, there's skills, like we're gonna be talking about some of the skills, like it does matter actually how you do it, you know? But it's a change of heart that gets you to that point where you're able to do that. So I just wanna ask you, what's your why? Go ahead and write it down, and we'd love to see some of those in the chat box as well.
Yeah, those of you listening to the recording, go ahead and take 1 minute right now and write down your why. Like, what is motivating you? Is it the safety? And if so, what specifically? Like for your family, what is it that you want? Like maybe it's a car or a house, some sort of form of maybe food, shelter, right? Or is it the connection? Are you looking for friendship and feeling involved in something? Or maybe it's the respect. Like, no, I want to make this money because I said it, and I want to feel respected. I want to feel like I am raising my value in the community, that I'm making this impact. Or is it like, man, I've got all these things, and honestly, I truly want to have this, you know, impact on health in the world, or religious service, or something in that nature. And yes, you can have multiples, but tune into yours. Mm-hmm. And go ahead and write that in the chat box. Those of you listening to the recording, write it down on a piece of paper right now.
And all of those can be, like I said, very powerful, motivating factors. So we're excited. I'm excited to read your whys. So please put them in the chat box. Let's go ahead and jump back over here. All right, so we talked about the why, and now here's a trap that people fall into once they find their way. It's actually step 2, which is set aside other people's expectations. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So some of your whys, as you're building them, have been created by other people's expectations. If so, then this is how you will feel. Your why, you'll wake up with it one day, and the next day it will be gone. You'll think that it's your why, and it'll go strong for a week, and then the next week, it'll not be there. If that happens to you, it's because your why is based on other people's expectations. Period. The end. That is why. How do I know this? Because I too used to do this. And I started off with my why being, okay, well, I want to impact marriages and really help people who've been through divorces, and like my cause. That was my big cause. Like, I want to help marriages and people actually create money and live their passion and serve other people doing what they love. So I had this high cause, right? And I had this cause because I saw other people doing things similar, and I was like, that resonates with me. I love it. That's my thing. And then my wife had a cause, and I was like, maybe I should do something like her. And then I was like, maybe I need to do this cause. And I kept having these, it was like a causitis, inflammation of having so many causes that you don't have any cause. And so I was realizing that I was putting on all these expectations by the mentors that I had hired. I saw them doing amazing things and reaching millions of people and having these impacts. And I thought, that needs to be my cause too. Mm-hmm. And I took it on without tuning in and asking myself, what do I want? And I tune into my spirituality, and I ask my higher power, what is it that I am meant for? What do you see in me? Why am I here? What is my purpose? If I could do anything on this planet, what would it be? And so my cause is actually very religious based and spiritually based. Mine is to create income to provide for my family and have enough to do whatever the heck we want to do whenever we want, to travel anywhere in the planet and do whatever we want on the planet, to be able to serve missions, to be able to dedicate 3 to 4 days and serve at a place called a missionary training center and like helping missionaries really communicate their message. Like that is my drive inside. I love teaching people who love helping other people, service-based. And I put on all these other expectations. So I thought, well, I have to go create these millions and impact these millions. And I kept doing it for the wrong reason. The moment that I tuned into my reason was the moment that I started doing that anyway, just for the right reason. Because you know deep inside of you, when you're doing something that's good for the wrong reason, it can only go so far. So I invite you to do something that's good for your reason that matters.
And I'm loving some of the whys that are coming through. And I know these are like people are being really, really clear with them. Lorianne, I hope that's how you say your name. She said it's safety, more money for my family, bigger house, do more fun things, not stress about money, have abundance. Awesome. That's cool. And then John says, I want to pay off my house and travel. Ultimately, I want to build a rec center to connect fathers to their kids and re-engage fathers in the raising their kids and bring back the positive masculine role models. Those are awesome. So he has his like stage 1 why and then his ultimate stage why, which is really cool. That's awesome.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. So I love that story because that's totally happened to me as well. I've spent so much time like trying to, I have my why, but then I'd be like, oh, but I've got to do other people's expectations first. It's like kind of like this, there's the crowd of people around us. And even if they're not actually like saying, hey, you should do this, it's like pretend, in my head, I'm like, oh, but I think I should, and I should all over myself all the time. And it's like this, it's like that versus, hey, no, this is who I think I am. And I'm going to look in the mirror and I see the lion in myself and I see like, I might be the kitten right now, but I see who I really want to become. And that's a really big step. And that's something again, and when we have people come to our events, when we have people in our programs and our mastermind programs, which are higher level programs, and people who really are dedicated and they're invested in themselves and they're really working on it and they're achieving results. But there's something that happens when people get caught up in other people's expectations and it stops them from actually living who they're meant to be.
And they don't keep their commitments because they commit to so many things based on others' expectations. And I know you have seen this happen, and maybe even some of you have been in this situation. If you think you haven't, then I invite you to tune into this, because the root of almost all negative emotions is when expectations are not being met or expectations are placed upon us that we are unaware of, that are subconscious expectations, and we don't meet up to them, whether they're put on by a spouse, whether they're put on by yourself or the society or the community or whatever it might be. It's having these expectations, like John is mentioning this, this masculine role model wanting to build this up. Think of society and how it's torn down the masculinity. And it's put this expectation out there to show that men aren't successful, that men are dumb and they have no brain and they can't be good role models. And there's this expectation that's false that youth and people are trying to live up to, but deep inside of them, the real expectation that they have on themselves is innately good and is innately like, I see the lion inside of myself. I want to be this, but then media is telling me to do this. I appreciate those comments, and because it does matter. Your why matters. And as you decide to step in and live your why and put aside the expectations of others and only tune into your expectation and your higher power, I promise you, your success is going to skyrocket.
Awesome, cool. And I love the otherwise they're coming in. Someone wants independence in a tiny house. That's awesome. And I want to create a concept of education, recreate the concept of education. Very cool.
Beautiful.
Awesome. So let's go here. Step 3, be clear and precise about your message and who it serves. This is something that we teach in our 3S enrollment system in a lot of detail. We're not going to take detail right now because again we could be here for like 10 hours if we got into all these details, but it's something called a precision statement that helps you clarify exactly what it is you're doing and who you're serving. And it's basically this: who you're serving plus what they're going to do, how to become, and the end result. And that becomes a magnet for your ideal client. The people who come through our programs, they master the precision statement. They can go anywhere in the world, in any network event, any place, anywhere, and say, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is help you know, this is who I'm helping. This is what I help them do and help them become. And here's the end result. And it's amazing because it attracts people. It attracts people. So once you're clear on what your why is and you're getting rid of, you're not being influenced by other people's decisions, you say, no, this is who I am, this is who I serve. And being able to say that clearly attracts people. And that's the first step to actually creating wealth. Because that's what we're focusing on, is you serve the higher cause. We've been talking about the higher cause, and then how do you actually create wealth while you're doing that?
Yeah, and for you guys right now listening, thinking about what you do. So some of you have you're in networking groups. Some of you are mentors. Some of you want to be speakers. Some of you want to run events. Whatever you're doing, the more precise you become, the faster you will enroll higher paying clients. The lack of clarity of who you are and who you're serving will take what should take a month and turn it into a year of struggle.
And that goes right back to trying to please everybody. So many times people are out there in the world trying to create wealth where they're like, I can serve everybody in the whole world.
I can help everyone.
You know, yeah.
I can help this person, and and it's like, if you think you can help everyone, you can help no one. And I know you're thinking, no, but I really can. You've got to think about this. It's more wise to focus on a group of people and target that group and get them a lot of success, a lot of good stuff that you share, and then open up to a next one, and then open up to a next one, and open up to a next one. If you truly want to hit the masses, you got to start specific and niched. Get rid of the limiting belief that it's like, oh, but if I niche it, then I won't be able to serve people. It's actually quite contrary. The more you niche it, other people will see you and say, hey, you got to work with him. You got to work with her. This person has done this and they work with these kinds of people. Boom. And you start getting referrals, you start getting clients, you start getting promoted when you do webinars, when you do your books, when you do your whatever it is you're doing, when you're doing your mentoring, when you're doing your weekend retreats. Very clear on what it is you do and who you serve, and the result that they get is what attracts people to you.
So step 4 is something that is really, it was a game changer for us. We struggled until we learned this, you know, and once we learned this, then awesome, amazing things happened, which is effectively package and communicate your message. So you have your why, you're getting on your own track, and you have your precision statement. Now, how do you actually put together what you do in a way that people are like, yes, I want to work with you. Yes, I want to be part of that.
Before we jump here, I want you guys to go ahead and put in the chat box what your statement is. Mm-hmm. And basically, so what you'll do is, I help blank have, do, or become blank. I help certain people. So I help people blank. You can change the people. If you don't know what your niche is, then you can just add people. But I help people blank so that they can do, have, or become blank. I help people blank do, have, or become blank.
So that they can, whatever it is, the end result is that you're going to do.
I help people blank so that they can do, have, or become blank. And go ahead and write yours down right now. So for example, mine would be, I help mentors, speakers, and trainers package their gift in an authentic way so that they can enroll high-paying clients.
Awesome.
Something as simple as that. Right? Or you could do, hey, I help speakers and trainers package their passion and spread it to the masses.
I help networkers, know how to actually approach people and talk so that they can actually enroll people and achieve their dreams, consistently.
Right?
Those are different ways.
Or, hey, if you're a stay-at-home mom and you're helping with, let's say there was a mom with finances. She was passionate about finances. She says, I help people, hers was, I help people master their finances so that they can create the wealth that they deserve. Something like that.
Cool. So go ahead and form those. And again, if you're not sure, you're like, I have no idea, like what it is or whatever, just play with it. Put it in the chat box, Give
it a shot.
Give it a shot. And there's no right or wrong answers. This is just a way that can really attract and get your mind geared into who you're actually looking for so that you can attract, your clients. And
if you're in a networking group and they have a statement for you, I highly suggest changing it to adapt to your passion and don't use their expectations on you. That is a big downfall. You will have what they think that should be said, but then inside of you, you're actually sharing it in a different way. Share it how you would share it. Like I work with a lot of people who are in MLMs, and the way they share it, this part is what makes or breaks people. I get so many people who send texts or something that seems so inauthentic, and how they package it sucks. I'll just be honest, it's terrible. And it's a turnoff. And how they say it and how they phrase it matters. So go ahead and take the time to do this. Use your own words. Use words that matter to you. Maybe like passion or wealth, or think of words that resonate with you in your life that matter, like cause or stability, but power words that have meaning behind them that you see in your life. Those are some words that you'll want to put in to your precision statement. And like Emily said, in our 3S enrollment system, we actually have huge trainings on this and live classes that we just cover this to really master it. But I think you can get it right here. Get at least part of it down.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead and share those. And as you do this, I hope this is an enlightening experience for you. It's something you're like, oh, like that's a good way to put it. Maybe this is how I do it. This is how I do it. That kind of stuff. I hope it's a fun and enlightening experience as you do this.
Doesn't have to be perfect. Those perfectionists in the room. and those listening to the recording, go ahead and do this practice right now too on your pen and paper, with your pen and paper.
Yeah. And like we said, some of our clients that we work with, it takes them, maybe a month or two to actually nail it down and get comfortable with it, get in the mojo, and then all of a sudden they start enrolling people, which is really fun.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Awesome. So we still look forward to having those. Put those in the chat box. Let's go on to this next part. Effectively package and communicate your message.
Cool. So this is my first experience with this was actually on a plane. And I had no idea how to communicate my message. The week before, I was like tuning into being a mentor, and I knew I had a message. I didn't know what the message quite was, but I could help a lot of people. And I was like, I can help everybody. And so I was not helping very many, and I had very little enrollments, if not any at all. So I remember I went to 26 different companies in 2 days. And I went out and I was knocking doors, and I didn't know the precision statement, and I did not know how to communicate my message effectively. So I go and just change my passion, and I go and I'm like teaching these people, right? And I knock on all these doors, and they open it up, and I look like I'm 12 years old, and I'm like, hey, I'm helping you grow your business to success. And at the time, I was not successful. I was super struggling. I had like no money. But I knew that I had principles that worked. And so I'm going and sharing these messages, and no one's resonating. Like, they pat me on the back and they say, hey, good luck, Tyler. I hope it works out for you. And I'm getting really frustrated. One day, talking to 12, the next day, another 10 or 14, how many ever it was, to get 26 companies in 2 days. And no one is communicating, getting the message. like inside, you know that it matters, but when it actually came out my mouth, it came out in a way that they didn't value it. You ever had that where you have a message you share and you know it can help somebody, but the way that you communicate it, they don't take it. They don't take it at all, and they're like, darn, you know? And so I was wondering, like, what is this? And what I'm about to show you, how to actually use this blueprint, was what totally changed the game for me. And it's a beautiful blueprint that is how people think and feel and communicate. So I packaged it in this blueprint. The next day we go out, I go out after I had all this failure. I learned this blueprint on a plane that I was flying out to go to a meeting in a different state, a conference, to learn how to get out of my junk, right, and have success. On the plane, using the blueprint on how to communicate my message, I enrolled a lady into a program for $1,500. And before that, that was like huge for me. I was like, holy cow, I just did it in a mentoring package with me. After I got to this event that I was at, I created an additional $4,500 at the event using the blueprint, using how I'm going to show you here in a few moments to actually package your gift in an effective way. Game changing. So then we went from there. The next month, next month we went to $10,000. Next month, $15,000, and we kept going up till we hit 6 figures in 7 months. But it all came down to communicating your message effectively to the other person. And I was teaching things on like dowsing, EFT, energy work, success, relationships. Like my niche jumped all over the place because I had no idea what I was doing, but I had my blueprint and I had this down to a T. So I want to share with you this because this is what's going to be the game changer for you guys as you package your gift. So let me bring it back up here. And my wife just rejoined me. Before I do, though, some of you guys have put in what it is that your precision statement is, and I thank you. So Sarah says, or John says, I restore family unity and cultivate freedom.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Cool.
Beautiful. So John, I suggest as you're doing that, I restore family unity and cultivate freedom, to describe a little more in detail. So maybe like I help families, or I help business owners, or I help families restore unity and cultivate freedom so that they can have clarity, so that they can unite. You got to give them something that it connects, because sometimes unity and cultivating freedom, they're not quite sure what freedom actually means. So you got to break it down even more and say, well, I help families create unity and cultivate freedom so that they can have lasting relationships together, so that they can communicate, so that they can do X, Y, Z. So that you break down what freedom actually means to a family, and it'll actually resonate more to the families that you're talking to.
Awesome. All right, so let's just go ahead and look at this packaging system. And by the way, we mentioned we built a six-figure business in 7 months, and then now we sell $60,000 packages using this exact same system. So wherever you're at, whether it's like starting out, you've never sold a thing, or you want to sell 100K packages, which we've done, this system actually works really, really, really well. So this is the system, and we'll show you how to apply it in a second.
And this system is based on how people think psychologically. Okay, you have left brainers, you have right brainers, you have people who think that they have a different brain. Like you've got a lot of different people, right? Different personalities. But this covers it all. So as you're communicating your message, you want it, number one, to have steps. Steps create logic, especially if what you're doing is a little esoteric or a little out there. Putting into steps changes it from something that's esoteric and puts it into something that's systematic. Okay? We'll explain this better, but it'll make sense.
Awesome. So you have step, You have the problem that they're facing. This is not a problem you're facing, the problem your client is facing. You have the description of, and the solution of how you're actually going to solve the problem. You have the transformational benefits of when they solve this problem, woohoo, you know, this is what's going to happen. It's going to be awesome for their life. And then you have the tools and resources that actually help you get that result. So this is how people think. They're like walking around and they're like, I have problems, right? And the problem is like, the problem is I have a bad relationship with the people I'm close to, or I have poor health, or I don't know how, I don't have any money, or, you know, the people that we work with, the challenges they face are, they're like, I'm passionate about all this stuff, but I don't actually know how to make money off of it. Or I've been taught a few things, but it doesn't really work for me so far. And I really do actually want to make money off of my passion, you know, that's the problem. And so how do you do that? And the solution is you learn how to package your message. When you do that, so that was the description solution, that when you do that, then all of a sudden you're, you know, 3 times more excited about your life because you're actually making money and you're able to spend full time doing what you love. So that's a transformational benefit. And then the tools and resources are the blueprint that we're about to show you.
Awesome. So here's ours for, this is actually called the 3S enrollment system. And we'll share some opportunities at the end of this webinar with you guys. We're going to give you some sweet, awesome deals and some ways that you can get plugged into Emily and I. And if you're looking to have these success stories where you're creating tens of thousands of dollars a month or a week, then we want to share with you some ways that you can do that and be our next success stories and be the success stories for your next clients. So this is what you are going to do with your message. This is our message, right? But you're going to do this with your message. Step. See at the very top, you have step here, problem, description, solution, benefits, and tools and resources. Now, I learned this blueprint from a good friend of mine named Ted McGrath. And he teaches this a little bit differently. I love using this because it takes common sense and puts it into even more common sense. Like, it's so simple that you don't even think to do it. And then you miss the result because it's never done. This is your actual package. So for example, if you're a mentor, okay, let's say you want to teach people and mentor them. What you'll do is, instead of just having, I see people like put it out, oh, do 7 sessions with me and it's X amount of money. Or if you do 1, it's a little bit more, do 7 and it's cheaper. Terrible method. Don't do that. If you want to create a successful business that runs itself, that is a horrible business plan. Don't do that. So trust me, strongly about this. Yeah. This is my opinion, and it's a very strong opinion because I've tried the other ways, and you'll get busy, you'll get packed, and then you'll get busy and packed. That's about as far as you'll get. So how do you actually create intelligent systems that run themselves? This is what I'm going to teach you right here. You break it down into steps. This is all based on your ideal client. Whoever your client is, you're going to describe the problems that client has. So if you're thinking like John with his families, or if he's working with men, or Sarah with the education and wanting to teach education, or you share it. Lorraine wanting to, I don't know what you actually said if you wanted to do something.
But that's her why. She wanted to create more income.
To create more income. Then whoever you're helping create that income, whatever your message is, how you're going to serve them, this is what you want to package it into.
And by the way, you know, he's using an example right now of like a coach or a mentor. This totally works for network marketers.
Yeah, I'm going to teach you how to do it as a networker here in a second. So if you're a coach or a speaker or a trainer or a mentor or a healer, this is one way to do it. Number 1, you create your ideal high-end client. So let's say my high-end client is John Doe, okay? And I'm teaching on enrollments. And so John Doe, he is a man who is successful. He is already doing a lot, yet he wants to transition out of a business and start sharing and mentoring and teaching people on something he's passionate about. He's tried, he's dabbled in it a little bit, but nothing actually has gotten him consistent income. So he goes through our program and he's our ideal client. Like, boom, he's looking to share his message. He's wanting to make an income and a business through it, and he wants to get multiple sources of income through his message. Or the stay-at-home mom who is wanting to create an ideal lifestyle for her family and has a passion, has an emotion inside that's driving her to create something good. And she knows she has this message, but she doesn't have any idea how to actually create wealth in a business through it. Or the networker who is networking consistently, but the enrollments might not be the highest quality. That they're already doing a lot, they have thousands of people, and yet they want to find the game changers, the people who are the global transformational artists, right? And so then they go through our system and find out how to find those people, how to communicate it with them. So I would write down the problems of those people. And that's what I did. So it's like step one, what's the problem?
So problems for people that we've worked with that have totally, had some awesome results because they've gone through our system are things like it's taking too long to get clients, unable to communicate with your network. Customers get turned off with the first 6 seconds of a conversation. You guys see I'm going down the problem column right there, right? Customers don't see the value that you see. The customer leaves uninspired to act. You don't know you're not able to make a powerful impression, lack authenticity. You're not closing the sales. The underlying fear is paralyzed to deliver and no technique to overcome negative emotions. So you get the idea, right? So these are problems that people face in the space of the mentoring, networking, training business, and they're not making the money they want to, and they're getting the results they want to. So we created the package to overcome all of those, and each of those steps is a step to help you overcome a challenge.
Okay, making sense. So as you're building yours, this is one way to do it. You take your ideal client and you write down all the problems that they have that you could help them solve.
Yeah.
Okay.
So on our template you see right there, right now we're going through step 3. So it's building your package. So this is part of, like we said, this is the template for our 3S enrollment system. We're on step 3, teaching you how to build your package. And so the program builder you see over in the tools and resources, the program builder and the program builder template, that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And this is like we said, this is kind of the first level of this, if you're in a program, then we go into the deeper, how to actually build this package. But
okay, so number 1, write out your ideal client, write out their problems that you could help solve. That's one way to do it. Another way to do this is to say that your past self is your ideal client. So the things, the problems, the stories that you've lived are and is your package. So if you think about that, like all these things I had to live through, all the problems I went through. So it's like, who's my ideal client? Well, it was someone like me 2 years ago, right? And now my ideal client's evolving because I'm evolving. So now it's like people who are already successful, who are taking their business to 6 figures and 7 figures and want to enroll high-paying clients at $30,000 to $40,000 or more. And so it evolves. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Your package can be evolving just like your precision statement. So that's one way. Second way is write out all your problems that you faced that you could help people go through to get out of. Mm-hmm. Okay. So 1 is write down your ideal client, all their problems. 2 is write down your problems that you've went through that you've overcome that have been very valuable. And the third way is write down all your tools that you have used to get you where you are and then backtrack. So it's like, man, what are all the tools that have really impacted your life? And write down all the tools and then say, what problem did this tool solve? And you can do it that way too. Mm-hmm. So there's 3 different variations for you to be able to learn to build your package.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's so many tools, to help you build this package, help you to create it. So go ahead and share for the networkers out there.
Yeah, so if you're a networker, then this is going to be slightly different, but very, very similar. Because the networker's like, well, this doesn't apply to me. Like I'm doing health and I'm sharing these products. Yes, it does.
Yeah, we have so many clients who are networking right now, and I love hearing them like, I've enrolled another person. We have
just got another person, just got another person, just got another person.
And it's cool. We actually had a networking couple who were selling cookware. So they were in a cookware company, and they did this process and package what they're doing in a similar way, and they outsold their corporate trainers within like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
Super cool.
Yeah.
So this is how you do it. Now, so for example, if I was networking, I've done networking many times. So my first step would be the problem. So let's say I have a health product, and maybe it's like something to do with oils, right? And so it's like, hey, what does this actually help? Well, who's my ideal client? I'm looking for business builders. So number one problem for a business builder to get into this health world is that the problem is that they're trying so many things to create wealth, but nothing is actually working. No momentum. So then I'd go into the solution. So the solution is get clear on your goals and your why and your purpose, and share with you the business opportunity. The benefit is that you'll get really clear on how this works for you, on how to monetize in sharing your own gifts through oils. And the tool that I'm going to share with you is the online training for the business opportunity, and also a visioning process where I help you find your goals and your beliefs and your why. Second problem would be, okay, so once I take this person through there, then the next problem is going to be that they're going to feel alone and empty, and they're going to be scared to actually go and grow their business. So the solution is I help them to put together a powerful team, and they're part of a community, and then you go through that. Or the third problem could be they get burnt out and they get confused and they stop promoting. So then I create another solution for that. The fourth problem would be they are scared to enroll clients. They're unsure. They have fear around that. So I actually teach them to do that. Do. And you have all these problems that can be solved. And if you package it this way, you will start to create some amazing builders in your company. Mm-hmm. Huge. This is how you do it, because it's not just share with them the opportunity and the videos and everything, but it's share them with what you bring to the table. Why would they want to work with you? Because it's everywhere. But you bring something new to the game. How do you show that? Through the blueprint.
Yeah. And you can do the same thing if you have a health product. If you're focusing on people who need the product, they have a problem of they've tried all the things and they can't get healthy, and same process. It's amazing. It's amazing what can happen if you really share this.
So are you guys seeing this? Go ahead and type in the chat box, those of you live with us. Is this making sense? Is this giving you some ideas of how you can use this blueprint? So here's a blank template. Please just put it in the chat box. Let us know that this is making sense, or if you have questions on it. If you have no questions, just type in "I got it." That way we know that it's that I'm doing a good job teaching. Yeah,
we know you're getting it, because that's something that is really important to Tyler and I. We're not here just to just deliver a bunch of information. We want your life to be changed. We want you to go out and be like, oh my goodness, it totally rocked it. Because of what I learned, from you guys, I'm totally making money and I'm creating the results that I want. And that's what we want for you.
Yeah. So you can write out, in our 3S enrollment system, we go into detail and help you map out all your steps, and we give you input, and you actually post it on our Facebook page, and we modify the wording, because that all can matter, right? But for now, just start putting it in and write this down if you don't have this already, and map it out like your first step. Okay.
Awesome. So we're getting some, yes, we got it, from the people here. So awesome. Sweet. Let's proceed. So just to kind of review, we've talked about understanding your why, set aside people's expectations, be clear and precise about your message and who it serves, effectively package and communicate your message, organize a strategy to present this message. Oh my goodness, you guys. This is something that we help people do really well. Mapping out, here's where I want to create, here's what I want to do. One of those things is called the 30-day dash for cash. And you can actually get access to that free. We can actually send that out to them. Yeah. Just the blueprint for that.
We can, yeah.
Awesome. And if you want that, just go ahead and you know, we'll talk to you about, email us and we'll send you some more information about that. But basically present the message, get out of your own way. Oh my goodness, Tyler is really, really powerful at helping people do this as well. We don't have time to get into all of these things, you know, right this second, but get out of your own way. And then what was the last step? I forgot. You that was great.
But I want to talk about the strategy.
Okay,
we don't have time to dive in it. But this is critical because some people go out, get a little bit of success, and then their success drops. Why does that happen? Is because your strategy wasn't very effective.
Or you're just like, I'm working on paying my bills this month. I got it. Good job.
And then you drop your energy,
you know, kind of thing, right? Yeah.
And so the key to have a strategy is actually have your 90-day goal or your 30 detail of what you need to do. So how many strategy sessions, how many pre-strategy sessions, how many contacts, how many reach outs, and actually map out everything that you need to do so that you can bank on it. You can put a bet on it, like, I am going to create $10,000 this month, period. And by following that system, that's how effective it is. We have people rocket after they strategically map it out through our coaching and helping get plugged into these systems, because having a system in place is what I needed to break out of my shell. So
yeah, awesome. Very cool. And that's why we have higher level, you know, programs for those of you who are really serious about stuff. We have, you know, masterminds where it's like a year-long program, you know, and
$35,000 packages, $12,000 packages. But people who want our one-on-one coaching, you know, that's what it's valued at, is people pay thousands of dollars to be able to get to us because of what we're doing and where we're going. And those people are doing the same. They're making huge impacts.
Yeah, and you know, we were able to share just a few stories at the beginning, like, but we have tons of stories.
Hundreds of testimonials.
Who have like awesome things like that. So, and then give and receive through enrollment conversations. That was the other one.
Yeah. But getting out of your way is really important too, because you're going to have emotional barriers come up. And my background is actually as a Thai yoga therapist and a massage therapist. And that's been really good to help people grow their business, because most people go and then some emotional barrier will come up. And that's when I love helping them, like, say, okay, what's the limiting belief? Let's remove that. Let's clear it. Let's diffuse it. And then go do this. And they're able to do it now. I have literally had people who have never sold anything in their life, who have struggled, who have been through coaching programs, who have invested thousands of dollars. But because they get plugged into us and the talents and skills that we both share, we're able to help them go get clients, which I think is so important, because as you're creating wealth doing what you love, you are living a higher cause.
Yeah. And then the last one, give and receive through enrollment conversations. I love that how Tyler worded that, because it is a give and a receive. It is a give and receive thing. Like, when you are really being authentic to who you are, which is, you know, our other brand is called Authentic Enrollments, right? If you're really being authentic to who you are, then it is a give and receive. You share and then you receive, and you share and receive, and then they share and receive, and it's really, it's amazing. It's a really cool thing. What is your next step? You know, we've gone through 7 steps right now. I want you to just think about, like, what are your next steps? What are you, you know, to create wealth serving your higher cause? What are you doing? You know,
what do you feel like you need to have to be able to go do that? And this is really important, because there's a lot of good things out there that you can invest in, but helping you get clear on what you need and then fulfilling it can save you a lot of money and a lot of time down the road. Like, I have people that get plugged into us, and because we have these conversations of helping them figure out what they really want, they're investing in, like, learning to go speak and learning to go train and learning to go do this. But then I ask them, well, what do you want? And they're like, well, I want to create money. I was like, so why are you going and doing these things thinking that you're going to get money? And they're like, well, you can go speak and get money. But that's not, the speaking isn't what gets you money. It's the actual enrollment of the person. And so they're building on a shaky foundation because they haven't mastered the enrollment conversation. And then some of them are like, well, I just need to go market myself. Go spread my message.
Gotta create a website and business cards and, like, all these other things.
And they go, important. It is important. But there's a step to, there's a place and time for everything. And so many people, they go get the website, they go to the cards, and then I'm like, Well,
Are you
great. Now what? How much did that actually create you? Nothing. Okay, because you didn't build on the foundation. Everything you want to build on, the foundation to creating a business is the enrollment conversation, period. If you can't enroll a client at $2,000 or $10,000 or $30,000, or if you're in the networking and you can't enroll them in the higher packages, then you have not mastered this. And without mastery, you will continue to seek and jump from opportunity to opportunity, thinking and wondering, this is my next big thing. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll do this. Trying to solve the real problem, which is you're avoiding conversations. You're avoiding enrolling people in their lives, which can be the most empowering and most fun conversation on the planet. So we're fixing to wrap up here in the next 10 minutes. And I want you to stick around to the end because we're going to share with you some things that we've never done before that we're super excited about. And whoever's on here is going to get some good opportunities. Let's say that. So we're excited for this.
Stick around for that. So we would just want to share with you, we've mentioned it several times, but we have a thing called the 3S enrollment system, which all the stories we shared with you and most of the people who get plugged in with us start out on the 3S enrollment system. And we want to.
And some of you, I think, here on live are in our classes, which is awesome.
I'm recognizing some of the people who are actually plugged in with us, and welcome. Glad that you're here. And because every webinar is different, I hope you're gaining cool, awesome stuff. So we just want to share with you, if that's all right, the 3S enrollment system, because there's a lot of people, and this is a passion of mine. I believe that we're at a point in history where it's a turning point in history. And, if we had time, I would tell you all the reasons why I think that is. I'm totally like, study history buff and stuff like that. But I really feel like we're at a turning point in history. And there's a decision that people are making right now as to where they're going to, I believe the world is going like this, like total up or total down, right? And I believe that you guys are part of a movement that is going to make a tremendous difference in the history of the world. And I really honestly believe that. And I feel really strongly about what we're doing, because you may have all these dreams about like changing the world and like, you're here for a reason, but if you can't actually like create money and create a system around it and create, a business and or an organization, however you want to go, then sometimes, most of the time, those dreams are just hollow dreams where it's like, oh, I feel like I have something to do, but I'm too scared because I have to go work my day job or whatever, I feel really passionate about this. And I feel really passionate about sharing, the 3S enrollment system with you because of that, because I literally see people who have that message inside of them, like Pedro and like, Cindy and like Naomi and like all these people that had passion and weren't really doing it until they got plugged into a system and learned how to package it and get through their blocks and all these things like that. So I'm really excited to share this with you because I know that there's people who are on this webinar who need this package. And I don't just say that lightly. I'm not one of those people that's like going around and just being like, whatever. I really honestly believe that you're here for a reason, and I'm really excited to share it with you. So cool. Go ahead.
So let's dive in real fast and some cool opportunities. All right. So with this, we're going to be doing some teaching and sharing at the same time. This is the 3S enrollment system. Number one, I want to cover this, and this is something you'll want to do as you're enrolling your clients. Because if you're truly serving a higher cause, you cannot serve everyone. And you do want to be very specific for who this is not, so that you don't put in your classes or your mentoring or your networking or your groups people who drag you down.
Or who are not ready for it, or who are not, playing at that level.
Not playing at the level that you want. And I think you know what I mean by that. Because there are certain people who it's just not the right timing, that they aren't ready to live their mission or do something yet. And so whatever it is that you're sharing, be sure and be clear about what it is who it is that you're not helping.
And I mean, if this is not, if it's not the right time, that's totally cool. But I really feel like, anyway, we can share who it's not for first,
totally.
and then we'll get into the next part.
So it isn't for you if you're unwilling to change and grow. Believe me, there are people who actually are not willing to change and grow. Most people who get on our webinars are usually willing to change and grow. So you're probably that. If you don't believe you're here on this earth to make a difference, this isn't going to be for you.
It's not going to resonate with you because that's the energy with which we come.
And some people honestly just do it for the money, which is the respect world, but they don't feel like, and they don't want to have and make a difference
and have a higher cause.
Yeah, there are people that way.
So it's probably not for you if that's you. If you already know it all,
like, hey, I've done this, I've done a program and I haven't gotten the results yet. If that's you, this probably won't work because we share things that are very simple. But I know if you do it, you get the results.
Yes, and we have dozens and dozens of stories of people who actually do it and they get the results, you know. If you don't want to make money doing what you love, I don't know why you wouldn't, but hey, if you're not one of those people, that's totally cool. You know, this is not the program for you. If you're already rich enough, again, I don't know if you guys or anybody here is in that position, but I just wanted to put it out there, you know. If you're unwilling to make mistakes.
This is big because you're going to, in this program, we're going to set specific people that you need to talk to and number of conversations that you have to have. And in order to do that, you've got to go fail forward. And I tell people, go fail and make $10,000 doing it in a month. And that's really fun. Like, go screw up making a lot of money. It's super cool.
This is not for you if you're unwilling to make and keep commitments to yourself. This is a big one, actually. There's a lot of people out there that are like, oh yeah, I totally want to make money doing what I love, but then they're like, oh, but I don't want to work for it. Or they're not willing to make that commitment and keep it.
This does require commitments and work. Now, the average time that people put into this is 4 to 6 hours a week. That's it. Some do 8 to 10, but that's about it. And to learn all the materials to go have the conversations, they get results within 30 days.
If they actually put in the work and actually do the time in the study and also in the
usually people, you know, on average, people make their money back within 30 to 60 days. And it's investments from anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 to be able to do that. So it's super cool. Today, we're going to give you some cool opportunities and cool things and stuff to help you guys along the way.
Yeah. All right. So, so we told you who it's not for. So if that's you, then probably not for you. But this is for you if you want to have the time of your life, living your passion and getting paid for it. You should have seen some of the faces of our clients. Like when they sell for the first time, they come to us and they're like, whoa, they're like, so like,
some of them cry, some of them laugh, some of them are like yelling, some of them are like, this just happened. I just sold $12,000. You know, what is going on?
What is going on? Yeah. And this is for you if you already own your circumstances and change them. Okay, so really, you know, we teach you how, but you have to like own the fact that maybe you've created some things in your life that you don't like, and you're ready to change them, and you're ready to learn how.
Be teachable. Being teachable is key. You're willing to learn and grow in order to become happier. Okay, you want to master the enrollment conversation. Everything we do will be about enrollment conversation. Now, in our advanced trainings, we teach how to actually teach online, how to do webinars, how to get clients online. This class that we're sharing is the beginning. And some of you, if you want to take it to the next level, then I highly suggest getting plugged into our mastermind group, which is where we teach you to make the global impact. Yeah. But you got to build on the foundation of the enrollment conversation.
This is for you if you desire more time and money to do what you truly want. You're excited to live a creative, fun, and inspiring lifestyle.
Dun, 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 check, check, check. And you're motivated, take direction, and you want to contribute to your community. So you're wanting to go to that higher
Because we do build a community of the people who are in our programs. Like, they know each other. They're excited to work with each other. They're powerful people. And so it's a community building. Awesome.
So we call this the 3S enrollment system because we help you build steps. We help you master your stories, and we help you sell authentically whatever it is that you're offering, as long as it's a good product.
Yeah, as long as you're selling something that's legal, moral, ethical, that kind of stuff.
So you already saw our blueprint, right?
This is the blueprint. This is what we're going to teach you.
This is what you'll go through. It's very intensive. hours of online material that you get as part of that.
So this is kind of the details of it. It's 8-week recorded live online course, a 3S enrollment system. I would value this at like $20,000 because the people who actually apply it, they actually do make that much and more. But we put the value up there of $5,000. And that is something that is really, it's awesome. People go through that course, and just by going through the course without any of the rest of the stuff we offer in the 3S enrollment system, it's super awesome and super powerful. So that's the first part of it. The second part of it is 3 months of live group coaching calls. So this is actually a group coaching experience. It's like a group mentoring experience. Go ahead and share that, because
this is something that I chose to give. So I have some mentors who sell $2,000 packages without any live coaching. And this was really important to me because I know that people need help specifically and individually. So I created a system that you get plugged into for 3 months, that you hop on once a week with me, three times a month. So there's 9 calls. They're all recorded. And we have different times, one's in a morning, one's at an evening, and different days they alternate so that you can be sure and get onto 1 or 2 of them. There I open up and I'm sharing things that I'm learning from working with Ted McGrath, Les Brown, doing things all over the country and all over the world, and things that I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in. I teach for 5-10 minutes, then I open it up and say, who needs help? And that's where you hop on and you say, Tyler, I've done this, I'm stuck here. What do I need to do?
We have people who get onto this call and they're like, oh my goodness, I have a sales presentation tomorrow. You know, I just did one and I didn't get any sales. What do I do differently? He'll coach them. The next day they'll call us back and be like, oh my goodness, I sold packages and it's awesome and it's really cool.
One conversation can be worth, well, depending on what you're selling at, and if you go through this, you'll be selling at least 2,000. It's worth tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And so having that consistency for 3 solid months really helps people. And we put the value $8,000. It's way more than that because you get plugged into us for 3 whole months, which is huge.
Yeah. Then it also includes, which is amazing, 2 tickets to the enrollment immersion experience, a 3-day in-depth exploration of the enrollment process with simulations and breakthrough experiences. Okay, so we have people who just come to that event. If you just want to come to that event, it's $1,000 a person. And that's literally how much we charge for that event. Because of the depth that we go into, people who just go to that event and come out and sell, $12,000 packages.
We've had a person just come to the event and leave, and the next week create over $15,000 through learning how to actually master this. And the year before, they had created less than $15,000 over the whole year. And so these are powerful principles. We take you through amazing simulations that take your mind and shift how you think about your mission.
Yeah, because we're all about experiential learning. We don't just talk at you right now we're on a webinar, so we can't do a lot of interaction, but we want to give you experiences that
you will cry, you will laugh, you will scream, you will shout, you will experience every emotion inside of you, and some of you will hate me, and some of you will love me afterwards. But it's going to be one of the most intense, one of the most powerful trainings that you've ever been to.
Yeah. Cool. So,
here's just an example.
Go for it.
Someone was there and they say, hey, I was staggered at the value I received. This high quality info was exactly what I needed to move myself to the next level and start my business. I learned how to connect with people on a deeper level and offer them my product while still feeling true to myself and authentic. So many questions were answered. Activities you put me, situations where I had new realizations. I have had new insights about my life, myself, what I value, how I think, and what my purpose is.
Thank you. So just revisiting some of the people, again, that testimony was not one of these people, but just revisiting these stories that we shared at the beginning. Heather literally was making $36,000, in sales a month. She was selling that much in a month. Pedro was selling $12,000. He sold $12,000 in a week within a couple months of that 3-day event. Naomi made $43,000 in sales
that very month
of the event. And you know, these are actual results that people are actually having in our programs.
So we have down at the bottom, results are not guaranteed. This is why. Because no matter who I talk to and how they say that they're so committed, some people really aren't. And I used to have to feel like I had to save those kinds of people, but I've learned that, look, if you're here to live your mission, I want to work with you. If you know inside of you, I have got to do this. I've got to create wealth doing what I love. My mission is good. It's good to serve people. I want to work with you. I want you to be some of our next success stories. And I want you to create your own success stories.
Yeah. And the cool thing for us is that their stories, they not only are they making money, but they're saying emotionally I've grown more in the past 3 months than the past 30 years. Pedro, you too can be a superhero. And Naomi, her kids actually get to go to Legoland. So that's what makes us come alive, is not only are they creating wealth, but they're actually living their passion.
So just real fast as we're closing up, it says, I've been terrified in the past of putting together packages or any steps forward to promote myself for my business, yet have had dreams of being able to support my family on a great income and what I've earned. Earnings made that did not involve a schedule that ate up all my time with my family. As I'm homeschooling my daughter and I want to be able to interact with her as much as possible while teaching her business, what business potential is. I feel quite confident that what I need to achieve now. This was literally an answer to prayers. I'm so thankful for the chance I had to totally and completely trust my higher power and the strengthening of the connection I have experienced with them. Thank you, Tyler and Emily.
Awesome. Give them a round of applause for them. Awesome. So today, I really feel like there's some people who are here who need to be plugged into the 3S enrollment system. And just so you know, we start you out selling at $2,000. We teach you how to sell $2,000 packages. If you're already doing that, perfect. We'll just up it to 12,000, you know, next level, whatever it is. But we start out, and the investment in this program is ridiculous. Like every time I think about this, it's like, well,
I undervalue this because I want people to get plugged in.
Yes.
And this is literally a $15,000 program that people create this in it, and that people get results like this in it. And why am I doing this? Because this is one of the classes that I know needs to impact hundreds of thousands of lives.
Yeah. So today's investment for you is $19.97. And you can get plugged into that. You should have had a little button that popped up.
Yep, it's to the right side. It says unlock your success 3S enrollment system. Click here to purchase. That will actually take you to our very sales page. And what you do is you click on it and you put in your information. You put in your email, your name, and then your credit card info. And we do have an option, because I know some of you, and stick around, we haven't even shared with you the bonuses. So
yeah, don't leave yet, because those of you who are on this webinar, we're offering a bonus that we've never offered before, and
it's going to be cool.
Again.
Yeah.
We'll see. You know, so we are going to offer a bonus that'll be really, really fun.
So you get it for $19.97. That is the price, the investment. Your first sale, you can make it back. I want you to get a sale very quickly. And
if you do the 30-day dash pick for cash, which is part of the 3S enrollment system, and you actually do it, then chances are very high you're gonna make it back within 30 days.
So if you're in the networking companies, you will start selling your higher end packages. And some of you will actually want to start coaching. You're already coaching anyway, but get paid for it. So create your own coaching programs. Yeah,
so ask questions when you get on the calls with group coaching about that.
So here's my guarantee. I promise you and commit to you my 100% effort. We teach, we package, we passion, we deliver. And everybody who's been with us knows that I bring it. All right? Some of you guys are like, yes, he does, right? And I love teaching people. I come 100%. I want the people who are willing to ask questions, willing to get help, do the work. I'll tell you everything you need to do, what you need to do, where you need to go to find clients, how to find the clients, how to talk to the clients, how to package it to get the clients, everything. But you have got to actually open up your computer, log on, study some, pick up the phone, call the number, get in our conference calls, ask questions. You get in our Facebook group. You got to come to the 3-day event. Do that. That's the whole thing. If you just do one part and you're like, Tyler, it didn't work. Sorry, I can't guarantee you it's going to work unless you do everything. Mm-hmm. You've got to apply it all.
But if you do apply it all, like,
it works.
It works. Yeah.
I've never had anyone ever, zero, who's actually done this not make their money back, who wanted to. Mm-hmm. So it's awesome.
Yeah. So just a little bonus that we want to include. We have other cool classes, 3 powerful tools that dramatically increase your success. How to make a powerful first impression that lasts. Recorded online trainings is the $300 value that we're adding as a bonus for those of you who sign up here today. And then we also have a payment plan option.
It's actually different than this.
Oh,
it's
okay.
6 payments of $400.
Okay, awesome.
So 6 payments of $400. Now, if you want to do a payment plan, you pay a little extra. We don't like to do payment plans, but we know some of you are in a place where it's like super hard to pay the $19.97. So we want to provide this because I've had to do payment plans sometimes.
When we got started, we did payment plans.
I did payment plan.
Yeah.
And it was 6 payments of $400.
Yeah.
So what you do is you click on the offer, and in that you can select either paid in full or 6 payments of $400. So if you do that though, it's going to charge your card monthly. So be sure and be authentic and hold your commitment that it does it, because I don't like to have those cards that pop up and say, oh, it's declined because somebody took their card off. Like, we don't want those kinds of people in. So if you do have that kind of mentality, don't sign up. Because that's not going to serve you.
Well, and because if you do have that mentality, you're probably not going to get the success. And we want you to have success if you're going to be in the program. Like, that's what we want, is people who are going to be successful, because we do have successful people in our programs. And here's the bonus
that we're going to deliver. So Emily and I were thinking about this, and for couples to actually do this with us, they pay us $2,000 to have a 60-minute session with me and Emily. In our global leadership training and in our Power Player, the cost on this is it averages out to about $2,000 for a 60-minute session with me.
And then that's not even including me. So together it's $5,000, because I'm worth like $3,000 an hour, right? Anyway.
Emily's been doing this a lot longer than I have, and she's really good.
But really, that's really much how much people actually do pay for to spend time with us. It's not just a number that we're throwing out there. It is $2,000, and then, you know, with the both of us together, we actually have only done this once with one client who's in our higher level program. So that's why we put the $5,000 value on it. And
so here's what we want to do, because those of you who are going to move forward without needing a conversation, like a strategy session like we usually do, if this has resonated with you and the details are here, like, you're going to get plugged in. As soon as you sign up, you get emails directly to you, and you have access to us where you're going to get on our Facebook group. You'll get the online courses. You'll get also, we're going to throw in a 30-minute conversation with our strategist, Nathan, who's going to help you prioritize and help you stay plugged into everything and get you the dates and get everything all plugged in with you. That's a $500 thing you're also going to get with this. And you're going to get all these things. You'll get plugged into the calls, the dates. You'll get the calls, the dates. You'll get the recordings. Everything you get plugged in directly. Okay? So if you are one of those who you don't need a conversation with us, we would love to gift you this, because we want to have a conversation with you.
Because we know you're a fast actor. If you're one that just jumps on and you're one of the first 3 from this webinar to just jump on and get signed up, then we want to talk to you, because we are going places and we want to help you get there too.
And what we want to do on this, you can pick, but you have several options. So the first 3 who register right now and click and
I suggest you do that right now.
Do it right now.
You're like committed,
if you really want to do this,
do it, right?
because this offer is going to go pretty quick, and you want to have a 60-minute coaching session with us. If you're far away, it'll be done over Skype or over the phone. If you're local here in Utah, you can come to our house and meet us here. Or if you want to fly and come to our house, either way, like it's cool. We'll meet you in person if you'd like. And we're in Saratoga Springs. And this is how it'll go. Whether you want help with relationships, whether you want me to help you create your six-figure blueprint on how to package your message and start enrolling clients right now, whether you want to get rid of some underlying emotions that have kept you from your success, whatever it is, we will tailor this completely to you and work on you. I have gifts from dowsing to body code to breakthrough processes, you name it, to helping people create six-figure businesses, to helping people create their ideal relationships, to helping them get out of addictions. And Emily, man, she has a ton of other things that she could deliver.
Well, yeah, and I've just been working with people, like I mentioned, I have a passion for helping you figure out your cause, like the thing that drives you. I'm really big into leadership and things like that. There's tons of things that I've done. I've been mentoring for 10 years. So I'm glad they're doing it. Thank you, Lauren. I'm glad you're able to be here. So again, those of you who are ready to jump in, I suggest you just go ahead and do that right now. Get on the link, click on it, sign up for the thing. I hope you're having ahas, I hope you're having epiphanies. And just get involved right now.
Yep. And those 60 minutes will be with those who pay in full, the $19.97. So only for those who pay in full. The reason we do that is just a higher level of communication. So we want the people, we want to meet with you guys who pay in full. That way we can just dive in and we can deliver some really powerful stuff. Literally, I've had a guy within one conversation with me has been able to take his real estate business from struggling to create $20,000 a year to hitting six figures in less than 10 months.
Yeah, and he became one of the top sellers, like top people in his company, just from one conversation. It was like 30-minute conversation.
Yeah, huge. Yeah. And so one conversation can be worth tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars for you. And I know for me, when my mentor talked to me, that was what helped me get my $6,400 in a week. If you'd like to know how to do that, I highly suggest signing up and getting an hour of our time.
One of those first 3 people.
That way we can over deliver on our part and get you some really incredible results ASAP.
Yeah, definitely. So if you have any questions about anything, again, if you're one of those first 3 people, if you're like this, I feel like this is something for me, go talk to your spouse, go do whatever you need to do, but get plugged in as soon as you can. If you do happen to have any questions, go ahead and email.
This offer will be up for the next, so we're doing it today. It will be up for at least 24 hours. And on the recording, it will be up for 48 hours at the most. And so that's what we have it set. So if you want to be one of the first 3, we would love to talk to you guys. It's going to be super fun. So the link to check out the offer is AuthenticEnrollments.com/checkout.
Yep.
AuthenticEnrollments.com/checkout. So if that offer button, I think it works. So you just got to click it. But it takes you to AuthenticEnrollments.com/checkout. And that's where you cover all that stuff.
So go ahead and jump on and do that right now. Because this is for you that are wanting to be game changers in the world. This is for you that are here listening, and I know that you're here for a reason. So jump on and do that, and we're excited to talk to you. Thank you for joining us on the webinar. We're excited for those of you who are moving forward. I hope that you guys have all had aha moments, Lauren, and some really powerful things. I hope you're learning, more about how to share your message and how to do it while serving a higher cause.
And if you think that money is the thing that's holding you back, or time, or whatever it is, I highly suggest that you tune in right now and just ask yourself, do you want to create a lot of wealth serving a higher cause? And if you do, then step into this. Step into your fear. Step into whatever doubt you have. Get any questions that you have resolved. While we finish up, this is really important to me because there were times in my life that I made decisions based off of money and not on what was right.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time I had $1,600 in my bank account, I was at this seminar. This guy did a $5,400 offer from stage. And I felt inside of me like, this would be great. This is what I need to get my momentum up, to get something to change inside of me. And then the fear came in, but I don't have the money.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started to doubt myself. But then another voice came in and said, who are you going to serve? Money or me? And in that moment, I was unsure of what that voice was, but it repeated itself and said, who are you going to serve? Money or me? Because if you choose, Tyler, not to do this because of money, because you don't have it, you are serving money. You are a slave to money. And I was like, what? I'd never thought of that before. And the voice said, who are you going to serve? Money or me? And I decided in that moment that I was going to stop serving money as a victim because I never had it. And I was going to make it happen. And I chose right then and there, I'm going to make the calls. I called people because I didn't have credit. I had only $1,600. My car was worth less than $3,000. I had no money. And I didn't have a job at the time. And I was like, I've got to do this though. I know it's right. Who are you going to serve? Money or me? So I chose to serve my higher power because I knew that if I trusted him enough, that he would help me find a way.
Yeah.
And I did. And I signed up, got some relatives after 6 rejections, and I found one who would loan me a card, and I did it. And then I paid him back several months down the road. This happened continually. The next investment was a $2,400 investment. Same voice. I was like, how many times do I got to do this? How many investments do I got to make? But I knew it was the right thing. So I knew I had to make that choice, so I did again. And then the third one was a $100,000 opportunity. And again, the voice, who are you going to serve? And I chose to serve my higher power, my higher cause. So some of you who are thinking about money being something that stops you, stop letting it stop you. You can continue to let it stop you the rest of your life and use that as an excuse and stay a victim all your life to money, or you can step into a place and say, I'm done with that. It is time to step out. It's time to go serve my higher cause. Time to go create these relationships. Time to go do it for respect and then do it for a higher cause.
And that's super powerful. That's what's changed our life is Tyler deciding to do that. It was hard at first, you know,
super
when we
hard.
started doing it. I was
we
like,
get it.
You know, but it's totally changed our life and it keeps getting better and better. I just want to say there's those of you who I feel like are here who may be involved in a lot of things and have a lot of different programs you're doing and a lot of things that you're like, oh, I want to do this and this and this and this. I just want you to ask yourself, like, are they getting the results that you want for your why? And if they're not, then even if you are involved in a lot of things, I suggest you consider it because I don't know of very many, you know, programs out there that have the kind of results that we're talking about as far as actually creating money, actually living what you're doing with a system that actually works, that you can follow, and it's systemized, it's precise, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
again, we're so grateful for you guys being here and for joining us. Those of you who are we see a few people already hopping in, so we're excited to get to work with you.
Congratulations to those of you
one-on-one.
Yay.
And there are a couple spots left, so be sure, and if you want that one-on-one session with us, go ahead and sign up because it will go very quickly, especially after the recording. And we would love to meet with you and get to help you create your business and your ideal lifestyle. Thank you guys so much. Those of you moving forward to 3S, we're excited to be there. Welcome. And stepping in with faith instead of fear. We want you. We want you to be the next success story. And have a fantastic week. Thank you again for participating, for learning about who you are, your message to share. And until next time, for a higher cause.
Love you guys.
Love you guys. Have fun. And we'll see you on the 3S enrollment system.